Today on Ambition Blueprint, we have an extraordinary guest, Stephen Shirley, one of my truest and best friends also. Stephen's life story is one of the resilience, perseverance, and faith. Born in Indiana, he faced challenges from an early age with a mother who endured development disabilities and a life without a father. His journey took him through 36 foster homes before finding a stability in a family through adoption. Along the way, Stephen faced personal and family trauma, but somehow found his way through it all. After enlisting in the National Guard, Stephen began a new chapter, discovering his purpose, deepening his faith, and finding love. His story is inspiring, but his perspective on life and the world is even more inspiring. We live in something you might call it as equally thought-provoking. Today, we're going to dive into Stephen's journey. Stephen, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to start out with the growing up stuff. Like, how did your environment shape you, going through all those experiences, going through each foster home to foster home to foster home?
So first off, I don't even remember most of the foster homes. I was told right before I got adopted that I had been through 36 foster homes. So all the trauma that I experienced, I remember 5, a handful of foster homes, that's it. But my biological mom, she, as you said, she had developmental disabilities and she wasn't fit to be a mother. So she wound up getting herself in a lot of situations that I should have never been in. When her, the husbands or the boyfriends that she would bring home they'd beat her. And that was one of the things where I was growing up, I just saw my mother getting beaten. And that kind of gave me a little bit of a softer heart. Even my brother sometime would lay his hands on my own mother right in front of me. There was drugs in the household. My brother would constantly, he had an addiction problem, whether that be coke or heroin or alcohol. He'd constantly bring that into the household. And seeing that, it changed my whole perspective on life. I have some points where I see people and I'm I know you can change, and I don't want to judge people, but
you see where they come from. And it's kind of hard because you understand the choices that they make. It's not because of the person that they saw, but the past trauma events. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's their environment. They can get out of it if they want to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. So since you are in definitely one of the tougher environments when you were younger, how did you cope with all that?
I did it for a long time. Honestly, it took me many years of just sitting in my room and just pondering of why did this happen? Just sitting there, just a pissed kid. I was very angry kid growing up. I didn't know why this was happening to me. And
do you think that you didn't have a father, correct?
No, I did not have a father.
Do you ever feel his absence by chance?
Feel his absence in what sense?
So you don't feel his presence as in on your masculinity side, or just not growing up with a father figure?
How would I feel his absence? I don't think I do. I think it was just kind of one of those things where it happened and there was nothing I could do about it. My mother, she wasn't really much of a mother, and I taught myself how to grow up. So I it messed up, and as weird as it sounds, I kind of made myself the mother figure and the father figure.
So do you think with him being absent, did that kind of shape you more into the person you are today?
Oh, 100%. I didn't have that dad where sometimes I'm jealous whenever I see kids with their parents, they're out there throwing the football and this and that. I never had that. And him being gone, I never had that tough love that a lot of fathers play the role of. I didn't have that. So it makes me who I am. I have to balance that tough love and that more motherly, maternal love inside myself. And that's it has made me the person I am today, 100%.
Definitely. So when you finally found a long-term foster home, what did that stability mean for you, and what almost sent you back into the system?
So, as you said before, I was in and out of foster homes. My the stability thing, never knew what that was. Even up to the last few years, I was searching for it. That's one of the things that it really truly did make me who I am today. And we moved from house to house as kids. When I was in my biological family, and I would go into foster homes, and then I would come back out of them. The judge would keep on sending me back. I have no idea why. It's not a place where a kid should be, but somehow I wound up back in the foster home. And I think it was 2015, 2016 is my last foster home. And I wasn't originally supposed to go there, but something had happened with the other foster home, and I wound up there. And it was the only stability I'd seen my whole life. I think I was like 12 years of my life, the only stability I've ever seen. I had the same room. I came home to the same people every single day. There weren't weird people coming in. There wasn't drugs. There was nothing. I was same friends. And
so people who are living through this right now, what advice would you give to them for them to cope with all that trauma and to just get out of that environment and try to escape it?
Well, depending on where you are, there is no escaping it. That's the hard part. It's just one of those things where a lot of people, they're young and they're probably not going to cope with it for many, many, many years. And if you're in this situation right now and you're stuck, it sucks. You're not going to get out of it for a while, and you're not going to learn how to cope with that probably for a long time. And it sucks to hear, but I mean, it's just the truth. You're in a room or a household that's ridden with drugs and it's ridden with anger. I mean, you're not going to learn to cope with all those things. I'm still learning to cope with anger and stuff. I mean, that's all I saw growing up was just people lashing out. And I'm still learning to cope with that stuff. So it's not one of those things where you can just pull yourself out of the situation. Like if you want to run away, you can. But I mean, you're 11, 12 years old. What are you going to do? You're 5 years old.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't see that. You're not conscious enough to see that. So as much as it sucks, if you're in that situation, you're probably not getting out for a long time. You just have to sit there. You just got to bite it and just take it. Don't be angry.
So you mentioned that you were on a bus and then you met your best friend and they ended up going through that adoption. Walk me through like that whole experience, that whole little rodeo.
So I'm probably about 12 years old. I'm in 6th grade and just sitting alone on the bus, just doing my own thing, vibing out, listening to some music. I'm still sitting there on my little iPod, and this dude sits by me. He didn't really want to sit by me in the first place because I'm sitting there making some, I don't know, Rocket
Goofy
Man
noises.
I'm doing weird stuff. I'm just doing Steven stuff, and I'm making like some type of Rocket Man with like wings on it. And this ginger dude sits by me, sits down, big broad shoulders, sits in the seat, plops down, just doesn't say anything. To the very end, I'm about to get off the bus, and he's like, "Hey, you should move that wing here," or something stupid. And then the next day, I wound up he sat right by me, and then the rest is kind of history. We wound up just getting really close by me bringing Pop-Tarts on the bus. As stupid as it sounds.
What flavor Pop-Tart?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Chocolate chip. Dude, s'mores the best.
Yeah, it was chocolate chip cookie dough. And then there was one with a golden wrapper. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I heavily remember it was golden wrapper. It was a peanut butter Pop-Tart. And I'd bring it every single day and I'd sit it right there on the heater. It would warm up, and right before we get off the bus, I give him one, I get one, and we became best friends. I started sharing my trauma with him. I'd go over to his house, he'd come over to mine, and his family saw what was happening in my foster home. And they kind of saw all the pieces on the board moving, as did I. I knew something was happening, and I wound up, it's like 2 months before this, I had said something to Jackson. I was like, man, I think I'm going to be sent back into the system. And he started tearing up a little bit. And because I was the only best friend he had known for the last year or two, or maybe more than that, because his best friends had moved to Virginia with their family after their father passed away. So I was kind of all that he had. Like his best friends, I was filling that void for him, and he was filling my brother's void for me because I didn't have my brother around anymore. I wasn't talking to anybody, and I didn't really know anybody. And my foster mom was getting a divorce with her husband, and my caseworker from DCS winds up calling Jackson's mom. And she said, well, I'll give you a call back in a few hours. We got to figure everything out. They got 3 kids. They have a middle child, and that when that happens, middle child, it's not going to work well for a while because, I mean, it's middle child syndrome. You're used to not having the attention on you. So I wound up getting adopted into their family, and It was amazing. That's what started my life. That's what set me on the track that I am today. My best friend became my brother. I mean, how many people can say that?
It's a good thing to have right there, for sure. Do you think with moving in with Jackson, how has that changed your life from living in all these other foster homes and then that switch? Did you feel stability right there, you think, or
100%.
Was that longer down the road?
No, I mean, immediately whenever I came into the home, it was love. And I had not felt that before. It was just, I'm just here because I'm a paycheck. And not to get off topic, but a lot of that happens in the foster system where you are just a paycheck.
There's like 5 kids in one room and then there's like 4 rooms total and there's 20 kids in a house.
It's horrible. And you don't get any attention, this and that. Not that it's fully about the attention, but you're not getting that love that you deserve. And that's what a lot of foster kids need. We have way too many of them. And then they're all separated into a house and the family's not the best family in the world. All they want is the money. They don't really care about anything. They're probably going to cut you off of 18.
If you ran the system, what would you change?
It's hard because, I mean, I saw exactly what was going to happen. And I mean, the last foster home I was in, it's horrible. There was no stability. Like, there was stability in the sense that, like, I was coming home to the same place every day, but like her son was still coming in and like he would steal my clothes and this and that. And it was just random stuff. Each foster home was different from the last one. Not that I remember every single one of them, but they were all different. I don't know if there's much I could change besides making good people be the foster parents.
So I know after COVID, you took some time to figure out like what you want to be with your life. Can you tell us about like the turning point, how it led you to the National Guard? Like, why the National Guard?
So originally I think I was going to go active because I saw what was going on with my family, like my current family. And I was like, well, what do I want to do with my life? I don't want to just sit here in this small town. I'm like, there's nothing for me to do. I'm like, I was trying to find something inside myself. And like with everything, I just sat there and I just thought and probably overthought it 1,000 million times. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a WWE wrestler. And then I wound up sitting there in my room one day just thinking like, hell, I want to be that person that helped me as a child. Like, there was cops coming in and out of my life, coming into the house because my brother was either laying his hands on my mom, like there's drugs on the table, like the cops are coming to raid, the SWAT team's there, like, and they would talk to me. They'd have interactions. Not that I remember every interaction, but in 2019, 2020, when I started thinking about it, like I brought myself back to one interaction that like it hit home with me. There was a cop in Greenfield that came to the house and it's so random. He just told me that he wanted to see me in uniform one day. And it was really just, as a kid, like, you don't understand that. I'm like 8 years old. I don't understand that at all. But I thought back to that and I was like, holy shit, like that's it. Like that's what resonated with me. It was almost like a giant bell. Boom. Like I had hit the glory of all glory of I found what I wanted to do. And it wasn't just because I wanted to help people. Not that I don't. It was because I wanted to help that kid. Because no matter what, like once I'm a cop, once I'm an officer, like that's what I wanted. Like I want to go help that kid. And what got me to that point of, hey, I want to be an officer was, hey, I'm going to be 18 years old coming out of high school. I don't want to just do college for 3 years. I mean, that's not fun. So I went to the recruiter's office and he gave me, I think 2 or 3 options. One of them was blowing doors up, doing that. And another one was paperwork. And the other one was jumping out of planes. He's like, you want to jump out of airplanes? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm like, sign me up. What do I got to do? He's like, pack parachutes and you get to jump out of planes for free. And you get paid to do it. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So that's what sit me down is Army was a placeholder for me being a cop. I could see myself doing 20 years, but that was my placeholder. I didn't know what I wanted to do for 3 years. So
can you like walk me through the experience of jumping through or jumping off of planes and then pulling that parachuter?
So you don't actually pull them.
Okay, you don't pull it?
No. Unless you're doing some free fall stuff, which I haven't dabbled in any free fall. I hope to one day. That'd be nice. But I mean, it wasn't the second time I was on aircraft was me jumping out of it. First time was me going to basic. They get you ready for every single thing that you're going to experience. They tell you exactly what the hell to do. As long as you listen and pre-jump, you know exactly what to do. So as soon as I came out the aircraft, my body was like, holy shit, I'm doing this. Holy shit, I'm doing this. I look at the ground.
You didn't have people on you. It was just you, right?
No, it's just the first time you jump out, it's just you.
Oh my gosh.
You're connected to this yellow thing. It's called a static line. So they give all your signals and this and that, and you hook up your own hook. And that's your safety. That's what's pulling your damn chute. And they check it and this and that. There's multiple filters for that. So you don't just jump out and you ain't got shit attached to you. So you jump out and dude, it was just like, it happened like that. I jump out and my body's like this. I'm just jumping out of aircraft and I'm looking down, my chin's tucked because if I don't tuck my chin, I got these big old ears. So they're going to get ripped off. So I'm just sitting there like this and all I remember is just my feet. First jump I had, I got hit by, I call them hot pockets. Everybody else call them something different, but it's basically just pockets of warmth that are in the air. And it's basically like a hot air balloon where it'll lift you up. And I got hit by one of those. So I'm just sitting, I'm chilling in the air. Dude, like there's no worries in the world. I'm like, instead of going down, I'm going up. So I'm vibing. I love it. It gives me plenty of time to see what's going on around me. And I just remember landing and my body was like, what the hell are you about to do right now? Like this ground is coming at you. And they had prepared me for 3 weeks on how to properly land. And my feet, my knees came together. I turned it. It was front right. And I was going this way, put my feet like this and landed front right. And it was just, my body knew exactly what to do. My body was prepared. They drill it into you. Everything you need to do, you're taught to do it. And it was just, I don't remember it. Like when I jump now, I remember every single thing, but that first time it was just like, holy shit, I'm doing this right now. And I feel alive. Like my heart's pumping. I loved every second of it until I hit the ground because that shit hurt.
So you went through boot camp with the National Guard.
Yeah.
Do you think that also played a huge impact to make you who you are today?
I mean, it kind of just drilled it home that I'm pretty OCD and I like stuff clean. So that was nice for me.
Definitely like stuff clean.
I don't think like it made me less of a people person, if that makes any sense, because as bad as it sounds, there's some dumb people who do some dumb stuff.
Yeah. There's always bad apples on a tree.
Yeah. It's like, holy, I cannot believe you said that right there. Like we had people saying some horrible, horrible, horrible stuff. But I mean, there's bad people out there. I mean, I still love them, but I was just like, holy cow, like you're really saying this, you're really doing this right now. I mean, it didn't make me exactly who I am today, besides the fact that it just made me want to push. It made me want to stand out. I was told before I went into boot camp, don't stand out. Like you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the first one. You don't want to be the last one. Always finish in the middle. And I mean, I'm not that person that just, I'm like a needle in a haystack. I got these big old ears. I'm tall. I stand out. So I stood out pretty quickly. So it made me just push even harder because I stand out. I'm getting smoked because I got these big old ears. And I guess I got this giraffe neck or something. So, I mean, people are yelling at me.
Bernie from the start.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of people I've talked to too is when they do go to boot camp that they do find like true brotherhood there, like true brothers. I'm pretty sure you've talked to me a little bit about how you and Steiger met.
Yeah.
I want to hear that story again.
So he was in the opposite. He was in first platoon. I was in second platoon. Went through basic all the way through airborne and most of the way through AIT. And we leave. We're all just getting our phones for the first time. And we all meet up and they're like, hey, the riggers are going to be over here. And we're sitting here. We're waiting. And we're waiting to go over on the other side of wherever the heck we were. We were somewhere and over the other side of the building or something. So we're sitting there, we're waiting, and we all just got our phones. We got our papers, our orders to ship out to airborne. I go over to Steiger and I'm like, hey man, like, dude, I got to piss really bad. Like, will you come help me, like battle me? Because if you don't have like a battle buddy, someone's there with you, like you're going to get smoked. And I asked him, dude was so mad. He like throws down his phone. He's like throwing this hissy fit, this and that, because he's trying to talk to his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time, something like that. Throws a hissy fit, winds up going with me. And I think I said something bad to him. I called him like a bitch or something like that. Like just jokingly, but not really jokingly. Yep. And we come back and we wound up sitting down, heading to Airborne. Because we're going from South Carolina to Georgia, which is a pretty good drive. And we just sat there and talked. And he kind of real snotty dude, big buff dude, but he's real snotty. And then dude was not funny at all. And then something just clicked. And we started like just talking about life, just shooting the shit. And it just went from there. Like we went every single day at Airborne. Our relationship like kind of built on itself. There was days where he just wouldn't talk to me and the days where he would. And then we wound up we were supposed to jump together. So we got real close, just sitting there. And because you're in this giant ass hangar with a parachute on you, waiting for these C-130s to arrive just so you can jump out of it and then do the same thing over and over again. So we wound up talking for hours and hours. And somehow he got pushed down the list for whatever reason. And that's what grew it. And we went all the way to AIT together and we were in the same room and it just blossomed from there. We were with each other from all the way through basic, like we hated each other because we were in different platoons. Like I would yell at him because he was short. He'd yell at me because I'm tall with these big old ears. And it just blossomed from there. It was that like love-hate relationship, how dudes normally do. You can start off like that. You can make the best of a situation. And that's where it came from. It came from nothing. Kind of hated him. He was a little jerk, a little short little thing. And then, yeah, it just started from there.
Short kings matter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They
Short
do.
Kings 2024. So when you look at life from a bigger picture, a bigger perspective, do you think there's a reason for all the suffering you've gone through? Like, does it feel like there's a part of like a bigger plan, a larger lesson?
So I'm going to try to remember your question in the back of my head and not go off topic because I'm really bad at that. But there was going through my whole life, I was angry, like I said before, and I would curse at God. And I find myself like when I pray every single night, like I'm still apologizing for that. And it's been years and years and years. Like I would say terrible things like, I hate you. Like, why would you do this to me? This and that. The stuff I experienced as a kid is stuff that I wouldn't want to wish on anybody. And I'm not like saying this just to say it, but like I was molested as a child. I was beaten as a child. I was doing drugs and shit as a child. And why is this happening to me? Like, that's what I would keep on saying. I'm like, why is this happening? I'm sitting in there. I'm a little kid, probably like 5 years old, just crying in a corner. Why is this happening? But everybody keeps on saying there's a God. There's a God. If there's really a God, why is this happening to me? And when I was a basic, and this is kind of going back to your last question. I'm horrible at staying on topic, but that's kind of what made me me. This dude asked me if I wanted to go to church. I'm like, man, no, I'm an atheist, man. Sorry to say this, but I was like, I hate God, this and that. And he's like, nah, man, just go with me. Just go with me. Go with me to church. I was like, man, okay, whatever. I was like, every church I go to, it's like a cult. That's what I kept on saying. He's like, dude, stop making excuses. So he brought me with him, and I go in there, and that was my coming to Jesus moment. Like that was it for me.
Yeah, I think
that's what
I know. For at least me, whenever you walk into a church, like you can feel that energy, that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you found Jesus into your life, when was that like moment of like, okay, like I apologize, like I'm your child. I want to put you first.
It was when I stepped into that church, and I had been in many churches growing up. I wasn't talking to anybody. There was no one there for me. And that's when it clicked. I walked through that church, and the pastor was saying, or preacher, I don't know what the difference is, but he felt like he was talking to me. I know everybody says they feel that way, but I walk in there, there's these big ass pink windows, and the sun is shining right on this dude. And I look up, he's like, you're finally here. And he starts jabbling on this and that, blah, blah, blah. In my heart, it felt like a shotgun blast right to my heart. And I'm not a dude. It comes back to like my childhood. I don't cry much. I can't. Like that emotion is just, it's not there for me sometimes. When I do, it's over. I'm just weepy all day. And that was the moment I came to God, and it felt like he was there. He was with me. I sat down and I apologized over and over and over again. I was like, please don't smite me down. Please. Like a boulder comes through here. I don't know what was going to happen, but I was terrified. But I needed God. I needed him because there was no one there for me. And that's when I sat there in that church pew and just thought back to all those days where I'd cursed at him. And I was like, I am so sorry. Like there's nothing I could say that makes it any better. It happened. And I feel bad for it. I can't stop apologizing for it. I sat there over and over again, and I was like, God, I'm meant for something better, and I'm here for a reason, and I'm going to do something with my life.
Would you say once you found God, once you put him first and like surrendered, do you think your life truly got better and like you moved forward, accomplished faster, and wanted to strive for greatness?
Yes, it was a little bit delayed. Like I sat there and I sat in that church pew, and that it did click for me, but that striving for greatness, it just kept on building on itself. And I let myself think. I let it hit me slowly, and I'm going to go off topic. What'd you say again? I'm sorry.
So basically my main question was like, when you found God, when you started putting him first in your life, how has that changed your life to like become like wanting to become better? Like, do you feel like somebody added some jet fuel on there, like everything started like coming to pieces?
Yeah, it was delayed though, because I started putting him first. I started like reading the Bible, this and that, but it wasn't, like I said, I was a part of something better, but that striving for greatness wasn't really there until like I came home, and then it just clicked. Like that fuel was there, but it wasn't consistent. Like me reading the Bible every night, me praying every night and saying, I love you, God. Like, you're it for me. You're the one who's always been there for me. Like that didn't come into fruition until months later.
So there's a quote by Robert Greene that I think you might like and you'll see in your life. It goes like, the more you move into a particular direction, the deeper you get into that reality, and the harder it becomes to imagine, or it becomes harder to imagine any other way existing. So like, do you think now you could exist any way without God once you found it?
No, absolutely not. I don't know how I lived all those years without. I don't know how I'm alive right now. Like, I can't imagine myself without God. There's no way I would, like, I wake up every day and I thank God. Like, he's the only one that's been there for me through every single thing. And many people, they don't believe that, or they don't come to that fruition for a long time. But there's no way I could, like, even when I jump, like, that's not the reason, like, I pray to God, this and that, but I would not be able to do that if I did not have God on my side. Like, I don't know how anyone does. I'm jumping an airplane. Dude, when I hit that ground, just splatter, I'm gone, I'm done. Like, that's the end of my existence. I couldn't imagine that. So there's no day I could wake up and just God not be in my life. Like I said, I can't believe I went 19 years without him.
So you went back to saying that you were an atheist at one point. If you ran across another atheist today, how would you pursue them or guide them to go into the right direction to find God?
I could try. That's what I would do, because I know exactly how hard-headed I was, because of how angry I was with God. I would try to tell them a little bit of my story, this and that. And it's one of those things where, like an addict, they don't do it until they want to do it.
I think one of the things I come across, a lot of people are like, why, if God's real, why can babies die? Or why do we go to war? Or like, how can he make my kid die? If God is real, why did it happen? That's just a hard question to answer.
It is. And any pastor, if you go into a church and they say they know, and they give you a reasoning for that, dude, I'm running. I'm 100% running, because you don't know the answer to that. No one knows the answer to that. No, a basic thing is, or a very common thing that has been said to me is like, why did all the Jews die? this and that. Like, are we all child of Jesus? And I can't answer that question. I have no idea. I won't know until I'm dead. I probably won't even know then. So yeah, if someone says that to you, 100% run away.
Run away. He's not real. He's an alien. He's
exactly.
morphed. Speaking upon the aliens, do you think there's aliens that roam this earth?
That roam this earth? Yes, 100%. Do
you think you've ever encountered one by chance, or do you think you've encountered one?
Oh, there's some weird people out there. No.
Taylor Swift the lizard.
I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, did I go past a murderer? If aliens exist, I mean, hell, they might be morphing. Who knows? Like, I mean, I could be considered an alien just by being on another planet and sitting here, and I'm still look human, and somehow I still have the same DNA. I mean, hell, I've probably went right past an alien. I didn't even know it. Went past a killer, didn't even know it. So, I mean, it's hard telling. Obviously, I don't know the answer. But
do you think there's life on other Earth?
Oh yeah. Oh, 1,000%
sure.
1,000% sure. I mean, not in our little. Yeah, I don't think. Well, they might be in our Milky Way galaxy, but our little community we got going on here in our solar system. That's the word I'm looking for. Our solar system. No, I don't think there's anything out there that is what we would normally consider alien. I think there are starts of life that we can't see, like on Jupiter or something. I mean, there's a whole big ass storm over there. We can't get. I don't think we've gotten down there. I don't keep up on space anymore, but there's probably something beneath the surface that would be an alien. It's some type of life form, some type of little bacteria. I mean, that's alien. So 100%. But I do think that there is something out there. It's either way. It's scary if we're the only people, only civilization, or there's millions of others out there.
What's that thing called where it's like we're living here right now having the same conversation, and then there's another galaxy we're having this exact same conversation? What's that called? It's
not the egg theory. That's what my mind wants to say. Parallel universe?
Is it a parallel universe? Do you think that exists?
Yes, there was probably a parallel universe where you've asked me questions and I stayed on topic.
Oh my gosh.
But
like a parallel universe where this table flips. There's another parallel universe where the water bottle falls. I think about that all the time. And another thing I do like to top into that is like there's millions and millions and millions and millions times a million. I can go on forever with the millions of like outcomes that can happen. Do you think there's waves that you can like touch in or tap into these other realities? Like with dreams or with anything?
So my first thing is, and help remind me because I will completely go on a different topic, pocket dimensions. But I'll go back to the dreams. I do think you can tap into other realities, other dimensions into those dreams. I don't know if they're parallel universes or if they're just different realities. But like when I dream, I can't, because I had this dream about my biological father where he had died, and I came in there and I sat right next to him. I was talking to this dude. I cannot say that is a parallel universe. Like it's got to be a different reality. Like I want to say a pocket dimension, but my mind has another theory for pocket dimension. But just to fill that theory, I'm going to say pocket dimension, where I'm stuck in this dimension, and everything that's happened in my earth on my lifetime is stuck in this dimension right now. And just anything that can happen in that pocket dimension. I had that dream about my biological father where he was sitting there talking to me, and he was a young dude. I had sat down, and there's a table in the corner. We're sitting there drinking coffee and a beer in the other hand. He's smoking a cigarette, and some country music's playing. And I had noticed his eyes. And like I didn't know who it was until we got halfway through the conversation. And I was like, Dad, is that you? And then he was like, I hope you have a fantastic life. And then I woke up. And I woke up and I looked on my phone, and the dude died the day before. Dude I never really talked to growing up, died the day before, and I had a dream about him. Like I woke up with goosebumps. I was like, I didn't know what had happened. So I can't say that it's a different reality. I can say it's a different reality, but I definitely can't say it's a parallel universe. So I'm going to say it's a different dimension. That's what I'm going to go with.
So I know you're famous for these dreams because you have some Snapchat stories for your dreams. What's been one of your craziest dreams that you can remember recently?
So I did have one a few months ago where it was some type of sleep paralysis. So I got two. There's one about a Nazi concentration camp and there's one about God. And I was sitting there and I was like sleeping on my stomach, and it's like something was in the mirror. I was in India's college dorm room, and there's something moving in the mirror. And I'm like sitting there trying to like move my head. I have no idea what it is. So I'm like, dude, what the hell is that? And I like lay my head back down and I wake back up, but I'm still stuck there. Nothing, like the light's on now. And I'm like, light wasn't just on. Maybe India got up or something. But I look back and the Bible's sitting in front of me. I have no idea where I was. And I can't read it myself. The words are scrambled. And there's a voice in the back of my head just talking to me. And then as he's speaking, the words start coming back in. Like it was just all over the place. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like someone just grabbed all the words, threw it on there, and they're just sitting there. Just a big blobber of mess. And then someone's talking behind me, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, who is talking and why are they talking to me? I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I can't read this. I'm like, I got to be dreaming, but I'm trying to like look at my hands because I can tell if I'm dreaming just by looking at my hands. So I'm trying to look at my hands, but I can't move my hands. And then they say something. I have no idea what he said, but it just clicked, and I was like, God, is that you? And I'm not moving my lips. I'm talking in my head, and he's talking in my head. It just stops and goes, mm-hmm. And then continues on reading. I wake up, and I woke up crying, and I'm like, I don't wake up crying. I woke up like that. So that was one of my, from a few months ago. I think 2 days ago, I had a dream that I was in a Nazi concentration camp. And there was beds set up. They were like 2 feet apart. And we were sitting there, and we'd all go to sleep. And then we'd wake up and we'd all go eat. I'm sitting there with India. We're at a dinner table, and like these people are like our friends. I don't know who the hell this dude is that I'm talking to. Like I'm a people person. I love talking to people. But I'm like, I have no idea who this dude is. And he is not my friend. And like in my dream, I'm like, my gears are turning. Again, I can't like look at my hands to tell if I'm dreaming. And I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and then his girlfriend's talking to India. There's a bunch of voices. And I just go, you know what? I think I'm going to head home. And everybody just starts looking at me. Like they're all like big eyed, and they're all getting mad. I can sense like the tension in the air, and they all start getting up. It's like, no. You shouldn't leave. I think you're good. You're good. You've been drinking or something like that. I go, I've been drinking water. Like we put vodka in it or something. And they'll start getting angry. And I'm like, no, I think it's time to head home. I want to sleep in my bed tonight. And India in my dream goes, no, we're good. This is our friends. And I was like, 1, I don't think you're India. 2, if you want to go with me, you can, but I'm getting the hell out of here. And then someone just starts marching along. And it's the fucking Nazis just coming towards us. And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then I look at India. I was like, if you want to go, you can. I'm not going to make you go. I wish I could pick you up and drag you, but I'm like, my body is telling me no. So if you want to stay here, you can. She said, no, I think I want to go home too. And like grabs my hand, we start walking, and then the Nazis started running after me, and I was just like this. I remember just like looking back like this, and Hitler's back there like with his hand up, and I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I woke up. So.
Yeah, I remember one dream where I was enlisted in the Marines. I was in a submarine. I was captured by Hitler. And then you were there too. I was like, looked over. I was like, dude, this isn't real. This isn't real. Like, this is a dream. And then Hitler looked over at me. He's like, you're not supposed to stay that. And then I somehow jump off the ship, swim all the way to Indiana somehow. I don't even know how. I run to my bedroom. I jump in my bed, and I just look out the window. I can see Hitler just standing like right out my window. I was like, I'm fucking terrified. And then I woke up, and I was like, I gotta text Steven right away. What just happened?
You literally text me the next day.
That's one dream I'll never forget. It was so weird. Like I literally saw the dude in real life.
The pocket dimension, man. I mean, he probably did come in your dream, dude. Who knows?
So one thing I do want to say is if everything we know is like a program designed life that controls us, where have you found your true freedom in life?
Where have I found my true freedom in life? I mean, to not go off your question, I mean, I'm not that great at many things. I mean, and not many things like make me feel free. I don't have like many hobbies. I do random stuff. If I want to play guitar, I can play guitar. If I want to go play piano or go climb a tree, my sense of freedom is I got freedom of choice. I can do whatever I want. Like if I want to do something stupid, like go climb a tree or something, I can go do that and go sit in the forest. That's my sense of freedom. Like I feel free when I'm jumping until I'm about to hit the ground. And then I'm like, oh man, like I don't really like this anymore. Like shit's going to hurt. Like that makes me feel free. My sense of freedom. Like it's got to be, I know I have a freedom of choice. Like I walk around campus and everybody will look at me because it clicks in my head. Like I have freedom of choice. Like I'll be walking and I'll just walk over like a table or something. Not like a table. It's like you know where like Kettler Hall is, there's that concrete slab where people sit on it. I'll just walk over that and go jump over the bushes or something. Like that's my sense of freedom is like, I'm not stuck in this, like, it sounds weird. Like
following the sheep. Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody's following like the concrete, this and that. Like there's days where I try not to like
you see
stand
Steven
out.
walking only in the grass, only diagonal. He's up on the building actually with a parachute. Oh gosh.
Exactly. I'm vibing out.
Steven, don't jump.
There's days.
Do you think there's NPCs out there?
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%. Like I don't like talking about basic because I think it's weird, but there's this dude that we called him NPC because dude was weird. Like just, he's so emotionless. Nothing was there. And then the day we started talking about how we thought he was an NPC, I walk in, I'm on fire guard. There's this dude, butt ass naked. He's got letters going on all over him and he's crying because I guess his boyfriend's like sending feet pic or something to some old dude or something like that. So I'm already like, I think I'm dreaming. I've already had, I had a bunch of weird dreams when I was in basic, but one was about a wizard. And then this dude comes in, the dude we call an NPC, and we were just talking about how we thought this dude was an NPC. And he's just like, how you doing? Just blank face. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then blood just starts dripping out of his nose.
In real life?
In real life. I'm not dreaming. And I'm like,
it's like 11 type stuff.
And then I'm just watching this dude. This dude's over here crying, like in the corner of the bathroom, on the sink. And there's this other dude like 2 sinks away from him he's just sitting there, blood's gushing out of his nose. And he's like, he's trying to like have a normal conversation, but he's talking about like something totally random. So I don't know what this dude was. Yeah, his program different. And like, obviously his programming was going AWOL because this dude's, losing his mind. Like it literally looked like he was losing his mind. Like there's blood clots. Just like I was hearing them like slap the sink. And I thought it was so weird because we were just talking about him. My battle buddy Sawyers, he came in, immediately U-turned, just turned back out and said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. So yeah, I 100% think there's NPCs. Yeah.
With the AI and Elon Musk making all these robots that literally is an NPC, what do you see like the future going towards with AI coming?
I don't think it's good. I mean, there's nothing, I try to stay away from my phone as much as possible. I mean, I say I hate this thing. It's nice. It's convenient. Like whenever I need it, stuff like that. I wish I could get a flip phone. I wish I could just live in the woods. That's my ideal life. But
cabin in Oregon and just
exactly
fish free food.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, even speaking about food, the big pharma. Just want to go on that topic.
AI or pharma first? Which one?
Let's finish the AI.
Okay. So what was it? I think it was a bot or something that came out like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's like a 5-foot robot.
Yeah, it's like talking to you, having conversation.
It can like do your dishes. It can. I think it's only like $33,000 too.
Which
like, I'm honestly thinking about buying one.
Yeah, I mean it's not a lot.
I'm gonna sit on a grocery run. I'm like, also only go to Gordon and only talk to Steven. And give him a wedgie while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. Beat the hell out of me. literally be that NPC that comes into work. And there's dudes who do that, but I'm not a big fan of technology. I say that, and then I like sitting there playing on my phone and doing this weird stuff. But it's weird. Like, I mean, it's weird to have this like cellular device. Like, and it's attached. Like, it's literally I'm gonna put it up now. It's literally attached to me. It's like Velcro. Like, it's my livelihood now. And like getting to this AI where that robot I seen, he was like mimicking emotions. Oh hell no! I am staying away from that. There's nothing going in my body that's technology, nothing like that. I don't like the idea of it. I watched iRobot as a kid, and I'm staying away from that.
What's that movie where the robots are... Is it RoboCop?
With which one? Like, describe it a little bit.
Okay, so there's like a whole bunch of robots, and this guy is walking down because there's like one disrupt robot. And he like peeks out of the line, and he starts like running around to not get caught because he like broke his system.
It was a movie?
It was a movie.
Oh, dude, I'm so bad with movies.
So with AI coming to the future, what do you see? Where do you see like AI in 5 years? No, I don't think I was on that part. I think I was on the part with a RoboCop.
Yeah, and I have no idea what that movie is. We should have looked it up over here.
Yeah, we should have. I'm trying to think of, I can't even. But yeah, anyways.
It's not Terminator. I know it's not Terminator. I have no idea.
Terminator's another one.
Yeah.
Like all these robot movies. I feel like we should take the hint and not go the robot route.
I mean, it's there for a reason. I mean, like those movies, someone's thought about it and be like, dude, this is absolutely terrifying. Let's not do this and let's put it out there.
So this is going to go to Tesla. I'm going to send them this. If you keep on making robots, make Transformers so we can be safe.
Dude, that'd be amazing. Oh my God. Dude, Optimus Prime. Autobots roll out. But no, I'm staying away from AI. This and that. I say that. Then I have my Snapchat AI. I'll like use it to like help me.
Snapchat AI is creepy.
Dude, it's amazing. It's weird because I turn off my location, and this is the reason why I don't like AI. I turn off my Snapchat location, and I turn off my location for everything else. And I was at home, and it told me exactly like the closest McDonald's to me.
Yeah.
And then I went to drill. It told me exactly where I was at, and all my location services were off. So I was like, what the hell? And I said that. I was like, I turned on my location. It was like, oh, sorry, I can't answer your question.
So no, I just deleted Snapchat at that point. I was like, I'm done with you, Snapchat.
Yeah. I am so close to like.
It's such a high school thing nowadays.
It is, but it's so nice to like take pictures and stuff like that, like snap it, and then you automatically get, hey, this was a year ago. Like, that's nice. But like, other than that, like, I don't text it, like snap anybody on Snapchat besides like you when you had it. Which is probably why you've left me undelivered for like 2 weeks now.
Probably like, what the fuck?
You and then Cody, Steiger sometimes whenever he answers me, my brother, my sisters, and my girlfriend. Like that's literally it. I wish I could delete I wish I didn't even need this. Like if I wasn't in college right now, I wasn't doing that, I'd probably have a flip phone. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want social media. I mean, it's nice sometimes.
I definitely thought about the wood life. It is choice B. Just go in the woods, grab 100%. Your fishing pole. Grow out the mustache, grow out the hair.
Food. Oh, do you grow out the hair? I cannot wait. Like when I'm out of the military.
Speaking on food, so we don't forget or go off topic, the Big Pharma. Run me through your thoughts on Big Pharma.
I think, I feel like this is a fairly common conclusion to get to. All the food that we eat.
It's all poison.
It's all poison, bro. Like we've had this conversation multiple times.
It's my favorite topic too because it's so true. Like how
it's 100%.
RFK said something RFK Jr. said something the other day. Is when JFK was president, 3% of America was obese. Now I think it's like 50 or 55%.
Dude, it is insane the amount
of Americans are obese.
It's terrifying.
That and then back then you were required to do 16 push-ups. The average American today, I don't think can even do 5.
Yeah. Honestly, no. Like you go into high school, this and that, like you're not, and those should be pretty fit kids. I mean, we're not really like our fittest we can be until we're like, I think 21, 22, something like that.
I'm excited to see what he can do. Especially all this corruption that's about to come out with CIA, FBI.
Yeah. We'll see whenever it happens. I'm excited. I'm following everything, but everything we eat is poison. I fully believe that if you look at the ingredients label and there's more than like 5 things, you probably shouldn't be putting in your body.
Dude, download the UQ app, the little carrot app.
Yes, dude, that was
not
awesome.
sponsored either, by the way.
It is not sponsored. So there's not all that stupid crap where everybody's pushing their agendas into it.
So you can just scan it and it shows you if it's good or bad.
Mm-hmm. And it gives a rating, it gives you why. I mean, there's some days where like I'll scan something.
Like even if it's even in like your deodorant, it's even on like ink and paper you touch. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like the receipts
Yeah.
That's off topic, but yeah. It'll literally show you what's in your deodorant and why you should stay away from it. So like there's stuff that I can't even pronounce. Not saying I'm the most literate person in the world, but I'll try to pronounce a word. I have no idea what it is. And then I'll like look it up on Yuka and it tells me exactly like, hey, this leads to this and that. But like I was saying before, like our ADHD levels, like in America, ADHD has just gone up. Like I about said Alzheimer's. Autism, stuff like that it's just gotten like worse and worse and worse.
Every like 1 in 3 child born now has autism or something like that.
Yeah. And it's
just from all the medicine that everyone's taking. Because they don't fix the problem. They put you on the medication to cope with the problem instead of getting down to the spare root of it.
And it's not even with like depression and stuff. It's like, hey dude, you want to get big? Okay, yeah, come take this pill. Oh, you don't want to be sick anymore? You don't want to cough? Take this pill. Instead of eating real food, like we're not eating like when I get sick, I like put some
blueberries and honey every morning.
Blueberries and honey, or like when I get sick, I soak an onion in some honey.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's horrible, but like I'm stuffy right now. I'm gonna go home and
I'm gonna listen back to this podcast. I'm like, oh my god,
that sounds disgusting.
Yeah. I'm like trying not to breathe in the mic.
Yeah, I know. I am too. I keep on like finding myself like, but what we're eating, it's not real. Like. And it's so easy for chain restaurants, especially in America. Like I was talking about this in class the other day. Like it is so easy to just drive down the street. Oh, on the way home, boom, there's McDonald's. Dude, I don't know if that meat is real. I don't know what the hell's going on. They're selling
like $1 for 10-piece nuggets now.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, dude, it's probably raccoon meat. Like
literally raccoon, NPC meat.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm not eating that shit. I try to stay away from McDonald's. Like there's days, I'm a broke college student. There's days where I get home from drill or something. I don't have time to cook. I try to eat as much real food as I can, but damn, dude, it is expensive as hell. I do look at my ingredients label. If I can't pronounce it, I'm not putting my body. I mean, I'll eat sausage, eggs. I try to eat as much fruit as I can, but everything we have, there's something on it. There's something like our apples. You remember those apples we had our first semester of college?
Yeah, they're so waxy.
4 months.
Yeah.
4 months. They did not rot at all.
Nah.
Not rot. And it is disgusting. So like, I want to start going to a butcher.
What? See, even the watermelon's all flimsy now.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Like, weird. Like my blueberries I had a few months ago, there's no way those were blueberries. I don't know if they're like, maybe it's the GMOs in them, or I don't know if they're lab grown. Lab grown chicken came out 6 months ago, but sometimes I eat it. I don't even want to eat, bro. Like, I'm like, is this real? Is what I have in my hand real? Like, it makes me just want to grow my hair out, grow my beard out, and just go straight to the forest and grow my own food.
So one of the other things, like the tap water, I can't remember who said it, but it's turning the fish gay.
Frogs.
Turning the frogs gay, not fish. Oh my gosh, all the fish would be.
But when they looked at that, so like frogs are, from my understanding, frogs are, I want to say like unisexual. I don't know what the word is, but they can switch their gender whenever they want, so they can continue to populate. But from what I understand is like that fluoride that was going into the water was
turning the hormones like differently.
Yeah, it was messing with them where they couldn't change it.
And now we're all drinking that same water.
Yeah.
And you can see in the world today where, I don't even care, I'm just going to say it. You think you're a boy when you're a girl, or you think you're a girl when you're a boy. I don't know if that's to do with tap water or you're just mentally ill.
Or society as a whole. Yeah. I can't tell you. I have no answer. I mean, I won't fully speak on the topic, but something's going on. I mean, whether we'll ever get to the bottom of it.
Kind of like the Roman Empire, how they felt like they just made the men weak. Because if you have strong men, they can overthrow the government. If you have weak men, they can't overthrow the government, and then the government's in control that day.
Same thing for our women too. I mean, you have weak women. What the hell are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, men and women. I mean, it doesn't matter especially if you have weak men. I mean, that's who we're sending to war and this and that. And
Yeah.
they're on average, they're supposed to be the leader of the household, which there's some dynamics in relationships where they're not, and that's totally okay.
Well, it's just rules, and it's different in now's time from back then. But
if you make that man the weak link, then it's gone, and we're screwed.
so speaking upon all of that, how long have you and India been together?
Going on 2 years. I think we're at 20 months right now.
What's like the number one key that you found to like keep that relationship keep on going, or to keep getting stronger?
So we actually, like, when we get in an argument, we got I don't even want to say an argument, disagreement.
It's just disagreements. Yeah.
It's just disagreements.
Yeah.
We're not yelling at each other. We're not throwing stuff at each other. We don't do that. But we had like a disagreement about politics, and I won't get into it. But we're completely okay. We could sit down and we could have a discussion. Like, no matter if we have heated different ideologies and we're super heated in the moment, if we need to step away, we can step away. Like, if we're on the phone and like one of us gets angry at the other, like, we can change the topic. We don't need to just completely cut off and just be pissed the rest of the day. And for a lot of people, that like gets hard. That's why a lot of relationships completely suck. But can I get my phone real quick? And like, this is
Go
what
for
it. What I've kind of tried to put towards our relationship, and I feel like it's helped. This is within the first 6 months. I have, this is what, like, we sat down and we talked about. Like, the first time we met, I got out of AIT and I wasn't looking for anybody. I had just gotten out of a relationship and stuff had happened. Stuff hadn't worked out, and I wasn't looking for anything. And then I didn't even pull the first move. This girl starts talking to me, and I'm like, man, I don't want anything. I wound up going on a date with her, and we sat in the car for like 3 or 4 hours just talking. And we talked about our trauma, and that was a big thing for us. Hopefully I'm not getting off topic, but that was a big thing for us. It was just unloading that baggage. It was like, this was the first time we met. I brought her the flowers and this and that, and after that, we sat in the car for, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours. She'd just gotten off school. I gotten off work or something. And it was like we just went on a trip for 18, 19 years. And we just needed to unload. I brought my baggage with me, sat it down. She brought hers. And we let it all go. Everything, all the trauma that we had going on in our lives, everything that I talked about today, like, I'm a pretty open person, but everything I talked about today, like, that was the first topics with her that I had talked about. And she had told me like personal stuff to her, and that helped a lot. I told her like my mom was beaten through my whole lifetime up until a certain amount. Like, that's all I had seen, drugs, this and that. And I was like, to me, that's a vow. I will never lay my hand on any woman. And some people, they have a problem with that, as we know. But the C's is something I came up with because I noticed it, because I was speaking to her.
It's called the C's?
I call it the C's, yes.
Okay.
I keep on adding words to it. But I came to this point where I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, I want this in a relationship. I want this. We're about 6 months into the relationship, and I realized, I was like, oh, dude, they all start with C's. Awesome. I can put a label on it. And confidence is one that I had talked about with her. And I think it's very important in a relationship, no matter if it's like a friendship or just any sort of intimate relationship. Adding confidence to that person, just saying the slightest thing. It doesn't matter what it is, but hyping that person up. I think that is huge, especially in a long-term relationship. If you want that, like, I think you should have that in your relationship and have the ability to be hyped up or hype up your significant other. Comical. And like, when we get in like arguments, disagreements, I am horrible about making everything a joke. I do that, and I find myself doing that, but it helps a lot. I will do something completely goofy, and she can be as mad as she wants, and I'll do something goofy and it gone. All the anger is gone. And she'll do something completely goofy because she completely matches my energy and I love it. And like, I'll be mad. I'll be a little upset. Like, I'll be driving. I want to flip some dude off and she'll say something stupid and I'll just, it's gone. And I think being confident and comical is huge, but also catering to one person's, I feel like I'm like preaching right now, but catering to someone's needs, I think it's highly important. And when I know, like, if I know you're off, I think I can use this for any relationship, but if I think that she's off, I know how to cater to her needs, this and that. Like if she's having a day where she's a little down, I notice those patterns in her to cater to her needs. Like when she's sick or when she's feeling a little down because she's thinking about certain stuff, I know how to cater to her needs. And I think that's huge because that creates a lot of tension. Like if you're in a relationship and your girl doesn't know how to cater your needs, like it kind of puts you on edge. I mean, if I'm not catering to her needs and she knows I should be able to, like it might put her on edge. So I thought that it was something important. I got like 5 or 6 more words. So celebrate, care, consideration, communicate, clarify, and I'll save the last one. But celebrate the little things. I mean, I'm not going into in depth to each word, but I think so. Like little celebrations, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I woke up today. You woke up today. We're happy. We're still together. Like the little things matter. I think attention to detail it's everything, especially when you have a relationship. Care, like caring for, some of them overlap, but caring for one's needs, but also catering, but also caring. I got these big ears. I've said that like 5 or 6 times. It's completely comical, but I don't always listen. I have a habit where I'll jabber off or I'll do this and that. Like I don't always listen. So sometimes I gotta step back and I gotta actually care about the situation, this and that helps us stay away from a lot of arguments. And I think that's what's gonna help in our marriage. Like when we get married one day, that's gonna help a lot. Consideration, the smallest things, like if she doesn't go out and party and stuff, which I love that about her because not many men can say that about their women.
I'll say that is probably one of the hugest things in today's society is just finding good women in general.
Oh, 100%. Men too. It's
men
horrible.
Too. It's both
society.
Ways. Yeah. Because nowadays you have girls with their whole entire body just out in public and out on social media where it's easily accessible and accessible. Like one thing that I always say to like really just anybody for advice is like the reason why a Lamborghini is so like valuable is because nobody can have it. Nobody can touch it. The same way with like girls and guys. Like if your girlfriend's easily accessible, then it's not that valuable. If it's not that accessible, then it's really valuable. It goes both ways too. Yeah,
and you could walk in a room and you could see that immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Into a relationship or someone that's not in a relationship, you can see if it's a high value person or not.
Exactly. This might get a little touchy here, but opinion on the guy friends.
Opinion on the guy friends. No. And I think that leads back into consideration. It's like if they're gay, that's different. I get some people might have a guy friend where they've been friends for their whole childhood. I saw it with my brother. I saw him be the guy friend, and then they got into a relationship, and then she wound up getting another guy friend.
Exactly.
And it's an absolute no for me. I mean, if he's gay, like India has a friend that's gay, and I knew this because I met him. Cool ass dude. Love that dude. But I would not let her just have some random guy friend. Like if she talks to some dude talks to her class, what's that word? I'm not
jealous or territorial.
Yeah. Well, depends on the day. I'm not, I think it starts with a C. I can't remember what it is, but, in something, I can't even think of the word right now, but I'm not in on myself where I think that dude's going to get my woman because I know my woman.
Well, it's not that you don't trust your woman. It's you don't trust a guy.
Other guys, yeah.
Because you're not going to go park your Lamborghini in the hood because you trust your locks to work, but you don't trust the people walking through the hood.
Exactly, because you don't know what they're going to do.
Exactly,
and that's why she doesn't go to parties without me. I mean, I'm not much of a partier, but
So I do remember that one time she asked you to go to a party and he said no. And then that party ended up getting shot up.
yeah, exactly.
It's not, I think a lot of people today where they're like, oh, you're insecure.
That was the word. That was the word.
You're insecure. You're jealous. Like, why can't I go to this party? It's not that you don't trust that they're going to get with somebody at that party because you trust them. It's just what's going to happen at that party. And there's also men getting drunk there and they go to those parties for one thing, and that's to get with women. Like, you wouldn't want to put something that you have value in and you invest in to get ruined that way, because it's easily like one drop in a cup or anything.
Or she goes in the bathroom. Boop, some dude's behind the door.
Exactly.
And then I don't know what I would do with myself.
Like, back to like the bad people in the world. Like, there's always bad apples on a tree.
Yeah. And you should try to protect yourself in your relationship. Because, I mean, I think my relationship is it's sacred to me. And I would try to protect that as much as I can. And she respects that. Like, back onto the seas, like, she's very considerate. She asked me it's not that she needs to ask me to do everything, but if it's something like that, like, she will ask me. It is very simple to do, like, or just saying where she's at, stuff like that. And she, like you said, she did ask me if she can go to a party. And I was kind of like, nah, man, like, I'm not comfortable with that. And
it's just
she
having
was
respect and value for yourself.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And respect and value to your relationship. And she luckily respected my opinion on the matter. And she's like, okay, we'll talk about it more whenever you get home. And we did. And then that's when you called me. You're like, hey, bro, like, dude's name, this party got shot up, this and that. And I'm not one of those, like, I told you so, but I go,
yeah, yep.
I told you so. So, yeah, 100%. I know guy best friends in that matter because I know how they are.
Like, for a little test, if you're watching this and your girlfriend does have a guy best friend, or even your boyfriend has a girl best friend, just send the text of, hey, so-and-so is treating me bad. I've always thought about you. Do you think this could ever work out? And that's going to tell their true intentions right there. And then they're going to send back, oh my gosh, I've always been waiting for you, blah, blah, blah. And then the friendship collapses. It's just easy. Nah.
What'd you say?
I said then that friendship just has to collapse.
Yeah.
Because you see it there.
No. And you should be able to respect someone's friendship. But when it comes to like that, there's some kind of tension, sexual tension that is there.
Exactly.
It's just not saying every single
men
one.
and women cannot be friends because there's
in my
either
opinion,
you think they're cute, you want to do something with them, or you see something in the future.
You would, or you're fantasizing about that person. I couldn't do it. I would not have a woman best friend because I respect my relationship. Because I know that woman, not that I'm thinking about that woman, but that woman might be thinking about me. And I'm like, I would not put myself in that situation.
Exactly.
And
cold chills.
Huh?
So you just got cold chills.
Oh, my nose is so stuffy. But my woman would not do that at all, 100%. And I love that about her, that she won't do that. And a lot of people's girlfriends.
What advice would you give to people today that are searching for another partner? What advice would you give them to look into?
I'm not saying I'm an expert on relationships, but the C's, I think they're
follow the C's,
dude. Like the last two were communicate, clarify, and Christ. Christ is number one for me. Putting God first in your relationship. It's like a triangle. The closer you guys get to God, the closer you guys get to yourself. But clarifying and communicating, like, I think though that list from the relationships that I've been in, like, that's the list that I've built up because those relationships collapse. And they collapse for a reason. People go through breakups and this and that. I mean, I've had friends that are going through breakups right now, and I've had to give them a pep talk. Like, hey, dude, like, this is part of God's plan. Like, you have to trust it. Like, as bad as it sounds, this woman is just a stepping stone for your wife. Or if it's a woman, this dude's just a stepping stone for your husband, or you're gay, or whatever the matter is. It's just a stepping stone. That's the way I see it. And again, I'm not an expert on relationships, but I think our relationship, India and I's relationship, is amazing. I would not want any other woman. I can't look at another woman, nothing. Like, mind, body, and soul, I love. And I couldn't imagine anything else. And us sitting there being able to talk And we came up partly with this list together. I feel like I'm like advertising something, but that's it's helped us. We trust each other. We really do. Like I would do anything for her and she would do anything for me. Like we really both follow that list without needing to know we need to follow that list. Like I fully feel like we're meant to each other. And a lot of people think that, and then the relationship breaks down and this and that. But there's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times. We all have it. We're friendships. Like people get in arguments, this and that. But
then it's just have respect for yourself and the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And for the other individual, there's honestly, I'm going to say it's not that hard to just communicate. Like for some people it is, but it's one of those things where you can get better at it. It's like when you're playing 2K and you start off at a 68 overall and you're trying to get better and get better and get better. It's basically like that. You're trying to move those sliders to the right. That's all it is. And it's like, that is a person. I'm trying to build myself. She's trying to build herself, and we're trying to build together in that triangle closer to God. Like
see, it's kind of like that pyramid of God. It's like, it's a triangle like this. God's at top. You're here. You're here. If you guys both go to one, then the relationship works out. But if you put yourself first or your other partner first, then it doesn't really work out.
Yeah.
Then it gets lopsided.
In a weird place, in a very, very lopsided place. I will say that God has brought us closer together. I mean,
I think there's a study on that where it's like, right now it's like 40%. I can't remember the exact numbers. Now I have to look it up. But it's a pretty high percentage of like, where people will get married and they'll get divorced. And then the second time, it's like in the 60s where they try to get married again. And then the divorce rate is even higher. It's in the 60s. And then there's a study, it shows like less than 1% of couples or marriages get divorced that pray together.
Yeah. And I saw that and I'll be damned. It was on Instagram. And it's nice. I have toggled my Instagram and TikTok for stuff like that, but we have gotten closer through God. She gets excited just sitting there. Like we get ready for bed. We have our bedtime routine. Our dog sits there with us. Heck, she's even taught Diesel to pray. Like it's awesome. So
Diesel, jet fuel.
Oh yeah, baby. But I sit there, I pull up my Bible every night, I turn on the lamp, and we read. We read together. And dude, it has brought us so much closer together. It's remarkable. I think I was telling my dad about that like last month. Like it is remarkable. Like we are still working on these things, and we've gotten a lot better since we've done that because we know how a little off topic, but you teach people how to treat you. Yeah. Like in our relationship, you've taught me how to treat you and I've taught you how to treat me. It's the same thing with that relationship. And people don't understand that. But coming closer to God, dude, it's like knocked it out of the park. All these things that I've talked about have gotten another step further when I didn't think they could. And it's going to continue to blossom and blossom and blossom and blossom into something better all the way through our relationship. And I fully believe that we're both following God, and I trust God is going to take us where we need to be taken.
Steven, thanks for joining Ambition Blueprint.
Yes, sir.
I'll have you on here soon.
Yes, sir. I would love to. Appreciate it, brother.